Whatever Mr. McCain might have once known about loyalty must only be a distant memory. When it comes to battles in the Senate, he cannot be depended on. Or rather, he can be depended on to stab the president and conservatives in the back. It remains an absolute tragedy that this man is consistently nominated by the Republicans of Arizona as their candidate for the United States Senate. At times it seems as though McCain's disloyalty and treachery know no bounds. It's one thing to arrogantly portray yourself as a maverick while voting to sink Republican legislation and obstruct the Republican president. It's quite another to deliberately join forces with the opposition party in an act of political treason. Yet it would seem that this describes McCain and his actions perfectly. The discredited Trump dossier remains in the news. We are not surprised to learn that Hillary and the DNC paid for its production. What is absolutely nauseating is that McCain is the one who delivered the fake document to the FBI. This was no noble act of just providing evidence to authorities. This is part of McCain's continuing efforts to destroy the Trump presidency. Demonstrating the coward that he is, he now refuses to answer questions in any way connected to this dossier. In December it was McCain who notoriously passed the controversial dossier produced by the Washington firm Fusion GPS to then FBI Director James Comey, whose agency reportedly utilized the dossier as a partial basis for its probe into alleged Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. McCain's office did not respond whether the Arizona senator was aware that the material he passed to the FBI was paid for by the DNC and Clinton's campaign. McCain's office also did not respond to requests for information on how he first obtained the dossier, which is filled with discredited charges. The fact that this man remains chairman of anything in the Senate is an indictment of gutless Republican Senate leaders. Armed with a historic opportunity to move the nation in a conservative direction, they are squandering that with worthless leaders such as Mitch McConnell and traitors such as John McCain. Earlier this month McCain denied providing the dossier to BuzzFeed and said that he only gave the material to the FBI. "I gave it to no one except for the director of the FBI. I don't know why you're digging this up now," McCain told the Daily Caller during what the news website described as a testy exchange. It is not immediately clear how McCain obtained the dossier in the first place. A January 11th statement from McCain attempted to explain why he provided the documents to the FBI, but did not mention how he came to possess the dossier or whether he knew who funded it. May we suggest that Mr. McCain is lying? He at the very least is not being helpful or forthcoming regarding his involvement with this dossier. It's quite possible, even likely, that this man was covertly supporting Hillary's campaign. We certainly know that he had and has no use for Donald Trump. Could it be jealousy over the fact that Trump won what McCain failed to attain that generates such animosity? If so, John McCain is a very small and very vindictive man. We've had more than enough of John McCain. Can you imagine what would happen were he a Democrat and were pulling these stunts against a President Obama or Hillary? As terrible though as that is to consider, it just might pale in comparison to what Democratic leadership might do to correct Mr. McCain's bad attitude. It is way past time for action. In return of his treachery and betrayal, Mr. McCain must be stripped of his committee chairmanship. Further, he should be removed from any committee that touches foreign affairs or our armed services. Put him on the committee that oversees road maintenance in DC. His time as the United States Senator should meet the ignominious end it so richly deserves.